put in thousands of hours of work. You can't just step up and be like, hey, I earned this. The dedication and the commitment to trying to be a little bit better every single day. I want to compete at the games one day, okay? That can be your goal, that's fine. The focus has to be on the single thing that you can do every day to get a little bit better.
Ben Smith, the only guy to finish on the podium during Froning's and Fraser's reign of terror. Ben Smith, part of the fittest family in the world, Ben, Dane, and Alex Smith. Ben Smith, an athlete who went from training in his garage to competing and winning the CrossFit Games. Ben Smith competed at 10 CrossFit Games and competed in over 100 CrossFit Games events. Ben Smith is an absolute beast. What's going on, beast? Welcome back to an absolute beast video. Today's video is all about Ben Smith. Hope you guys enjoy. Like always, comment down below on who you want to see on next episode. You guys voted for Ben. Follow me on Instagram. Let's get started. Let's jump into the favorite part about every single athlete on this Absolute Beast playlist. Check out the playlist if you haven't already. The stats. Ben Smith has competed at every single CrossFit Games since 2009. Ben has podiumed 4 times, taking third in 2011 and 2013, second in 2016, and first in 2015. Out of the 11 years that Ben has competed at the Games, his worst overall finish to date was 64th back in 2009, where they had about 74 competitors. He was also about 19 years old at this time. Since the CrossFit Games has been fully televised, his worst place finish was 28th in this previous CrossFit Games year, where he received the wild card to compete. Ben has won the team series 3 years in a row, competing on Team Reebok, finishing in 4th in the 2015 CrossFit Liftoff. He dominated the Mid-Atlantic Regional for 5 years, coming first and even at times beating his opponents by 2 to 3 minutes per workout. They nicknamed the Mid-Atlantic Regional the Ben Smith Show. So he's got a phenomenal resume when it comes to CrossFit. But the consistency king isn't done there. According to CrossFit.com, Ben is 5'11", weighs around 88 kilos or 195 pounds, and is 29 years old. What can he lift, may you ask? He has a 140 kilo snatch, 168 kilo clean and jerk, 240 kilo deadlift, 220 kilo back squat, and in prize money alone, Ben has cashed in over $500,000. Damn. So he's fit, and you guys understand that. But just like Patrick Vellner, Ben Smith has some pretty interesting older content that I'm going to have a time to personally review. Now, for context, some of these videos were actually sent to Jason Kalipa as part of CrossFit's challenge workouts. These videos are also very old and very inspirational. It really shows that with enough consistency, sacrifice, and willpower, anyone can achieve anything. But you guys don't give a fuck at all about all that sappy bullshit. Let's roast some young Ben. I'm going to start off the first video with a 1RM power clean. Now, just a quick double check of the surroundings. Yes, it is a Globo gym. Yes, he's not in a CrossFit box. This is definitely 2010. 138.5 kilos on the bar for Ben. Let's see how he does. And he just power cleans my 1RM. Cool. All right, let's move on to video number 2. Ben is performing a workout called Freddy's Revenge, which for you CrossFit new schoolers out there is 5 rounds, 5 shoulder to overhead, and 10 burpees. A few key points that I'd like to point out that they're quite alarming already. Point number 1, Ben is so poor that he can't afford shoes. That's a rip and chat for the boys. Point number 2, Ben is in a Globo gym with all the jabronis staring at him back in a time where CrossFit was quite unknown. People were probably like, what the fuck is this guy even doing? Instead of these days where if he was doing the exact same thing he was doing then, today, people would be like, what the fuck is this guy even doing? Point number 3, behind the neck push jerks was a very, very interesting technique for this workout. I mean, it's in no way the safer option, but he does get a time of 4:45, which is pretty darn good, all things considered. With the lack of shoes, the lack of adequate equipment, or even space. And finally, a lack of a decent cameraman. Hit me up at Tyler J. Hamilton. Let's move on to the third and final video. Video number 3. Ben has done it a nicety for us and started off with the workout on screen. Nasty girls, 3 rounds for time, 50 air squats, 7 muscle ups, and 10 hang power cleans at 60 kilos. Now, first thing off the bat, we have a ladder in the background, which definitely shows that he's chosen to put his rings up nice and high on a tree. Now, this would normally be quite weird and, as I would have said, innovative in these days standards. However, we're all in isolation at the moment, and this is probably what most people's rings look like anyway. Secondly, the adequate use of a timer. Now, his friend has got a trusty watch that he's using in front of the camera, which at the moment I have no idea what he's filming. Why aren't you filming, Ben? We don't need to see the barbell. There we go. All right. Ben's probably just missed about 10 reps. Cool. And let's look at these air squats. He's literally hitting a bomb of his air squat. I don't even think he has hips anymore. He's just going straight. What are you filming, bro? Anyway, let's move into the muscle ups. Now, back in this day, back in 2010, be able to do at least one muscle up was a fucking feat. Doing 7 unbroken was almost like you were a god at CrossFit. Back in 2009's Amanda, there was many people who couldn't even do a muscle up. You watched them get their first ever muscle ups, which these days is kind of a joke, but back in those kind of early CrossFit days, it was a real thing. Finally, 10 hang power cleans at 60, he makes them look easy. For a guy who taught himself everything there is to know about CrossFit, he really taught the technique of most movements quite well. Apart from all the fact that his knees are tracking over his toes, that this guy can't hold a bloody fucking timer correctly, and he's not even filming Ben, he's still on the floor. Yeah, nice work, mate. This video is an absolute fucking banger.
So my wife was reviewing the videos and she comes to me, she's like, hey, that guy Ben Smith won again. I'm like, who the hell is Ben Smith?
You have to honestly evaluate yourself.
100%.
Like if you're not honest with yourself, you're lying to yourself. You're never gonna progress forward. Having to evaluate yourself like you say you do every day, which is awesome. But do it honestly, and that's how you really make progress. We talked about sacrifices, right? I think that's a kind of a good place to go with it. But you have to sacrifice some things in order to achieve whatever dreams you might have. So understand that you each want to go in these 2 directions, and you have to somehow figure out a way to work together and help each other achieve your goals without straying too far off the path one way or the other.
Ben Smith's family. Ben is married to Noelle, who they met in their junior year of high school and have been married since October 2014. The Smiths is a cliche last name, but also a notorious crew of fit people. From Chuck Smith, who started the journey for Ben, getting him into CrossFit, and Chuck himself competing in Masters through the Open, placing 126th in the world. Alex Smith would be considered CrossFit's gymnastic expert, who's qualified for the Games 3 years in a row, placing 25th overall as an individual in 2018 and 2nd overall on Team CrossFit Krypton, getting edged out by the notorious CrossFit Mayhem in 2019. Dane Smith, or the Sprint Guy, Great at many things, but a specialist at short and sweet workouts. Dane's best finish at the Atlantic Regional was 12th in 2018. The Smiths got a chance to compete together 3 years in a row at the Atlantic Regional. Their dad, Chuck, said that Ben has been a coach to their younger brothers, teaching them pretty much every movement that he taught himself, and then also relaying those same movements on to his affiliate, CrossFit Krypton. Ben was born in May the 16th, 1990, in Virginia, the US of A. Ben throughout his childhood played baseball up until 2008 when Chuck E. Cheese said, "Benny boy, put that mitten down and pick up that callus remover. It's time to go to work." That are his actual words, I swearsies. Did you know? Just like Matt, Ben has a university education. Just like Matt, Ben also has the exact same degree in mechanical engineering. Maybe that's the secret. Something they teach at university during engineering is the key to unlocking your CrossFit Games potential. Now that you know a bit more about Ben, how can you get more Ben Smith? How can you consume more Ben apart from eating his soul and sucking the life out of him? Let's start with his main platform of Instagram. Ben has over 450,000 followers on Instagram. Ben posts workouts, photos of everyday life, and advertises for both his gym, CrossFit Krypton, and his program, the Ben Smith Blueprint. CrossFit Krypton, his gym, might I add, has the most badass name of all time for any gym, where they have a high-level facility, 11 coaches, including Sean Sweeney, Hilary Duff, and Dave Driscoll. I'm joking. They offer a range of programs, training camps, membership options, and specializations. Finally, CrossFit Krypton have a YouTube channel, which I've gotten a few of my videos from for this video itself, so check it out. Ben Smith's Blueprint. If you want to be more like Ben, you jump on his program, the Ben Smith Blueprint. He says, and I quote, "I didn't just show up and win. The Ben Smith Blueprint's philosophy is a decade in the making. It is forged from years of trial, error, success, failure, and competition experience at the highest level." My final thoughts on Ben Smith. Look, Ben is a legend of the sport. Without a doubt, Ben Smith will be in the CrossFit Hall of Fame for years to come. Being a CrossFit Games champion, spending and literally dedicating 10 years of his life to the sport that we all love and that he is super passionate about, Ben has gone from nothing to having everything to being one of the most consistent CrossFit Games competitors. Yeah, he doesn't have the biggest personality. Yeah, maybe at sometimes he ain't that interesting, but Ben is developed from a cornerstone of a family who only know fitness. And that is why I believe that Ben Smith is an absolute beast. What did you guys think of Ben Smith? Anything I left out? Anything I should add to that video? Comment down below now. I'd love to hear what you guys think. And as always, you guys stay a boost.